And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the 1960s NBA episode, where we'll be talking about the two greatest duos in the 1960s history, I guess is the best way I don't know. Anyway, all five of us are here again today, plus our half a guest, Brock. So Brock, back-to-back episodes for him, getting him to, 5 or 6 now, I think, total episodes. So, way to go, Brock. Thanks for returning.
He's nodding his head for all you listeners out there.
Yeah, he's Michaelis again. We just decided it was better this way.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Anyway, so hopefully our 1960s episode will be a little bit tighter knit than our 50s episode, but no guarantees because this is a hard decade. So, let's get started. Drew, who is your number 2 duo for the 1960s?
My number 2 is Elgin Baylor and Jerry West.
I also want them.
I also have them as well.
I also have them.
I also have them.
Oh, perfect. We got one.
Yeah.
We got a unanimous.
Sure, I'll go with them.
Brock says yes. Everyone says yes to these two. Well, they didn't win a title together. We all know the tragic story of Elgin Baylor. He retired, halfway through the season. They win the title that year.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that wasn't the 60s.
No, I say Jerry West does get a title, but that's not until the 70s. But in their time together, Elgin shot 43%. He went 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Jerry shot 47% from the field, 27 points, and then 6 and 6. So they made some championships. Obviously, they didn't win any, but they were definitely one of the best duos, even though, and neither one of them did win an MVP or anything.
No hardware for this duo, but they did put up some stupid numbers.
So this is kind of what I was talking about, I think, a little bit last episode about not having winning and doing all this. This was just, you just have to acknowledge. They were just great, even without.
It's kind of mind-boggling neither one of them won an MVP.
And they played for 9 years together.
Yeah, and I would say they were the face of the Lakers franchise, one of the most popular. They're one of the faces. When you talk about the Lakers, you talk about Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, and then it goes to Will and Jerry for a little bit, and then it goes to Kareem and Magic, and then it goes to Kobe and Shaq. So they're one of the faces of one of the most important franchises.
I just want to say this, and this is not a shot at Jerry West, it's a shot at somebody else. But if you go by LeBron fan standards, Jerry West is one of the greatest winners of all time. I just want to say that because he lost the finals 8 times, and apparently that counts as being really great. So
going and losing is more important than going and winning, Alex.
Yes,
Every LeBron fan knows that. That's day one info, bro.
Jerry West did it first.
That's right. That's right.
Jerry West was actually better at it than LeBron.
And just think, if LeBron was back losing back in the day, he might have been the logo.
And the thing is, Jerry was so good at it, they gave him a trophy one year for it.
Yeah.
He is called Mr. Clutch because he did have some insane playoff performances.
I would say Jerry showed up.
He did, yes, lose, unfortunately, in a lot of those finals, but thankfully he did get, it wasn't in this, it was early
72,
70s, right, when he won.
Yeah.
Thankfully he did get one before his career was over, but he did have, he's known as one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. He had some nasty stat lines in the playoffs.
You think about it, we were very close to having West, Baylor, Wilt, and Oscar all not having any championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, since we had a unanimous one, then maybe that's a good sign, guys. Maybe that's a good sign. So I guess we'll just keep going around. Uncle Doug, who is your other duo for the 60s?
Well, I really struggled with this. Big time. I went with Oscar Robertson and Jerry Lucas.
I looked at them. Do you have anything you want to tell us about Big O?
Well, obviously everybody knows the Big O. and averaged a triple-double one season, the first person to do it. He did get an MVP during this decade, which was hard to come by with everybody else involved. 29.7 points, almost 9 rebounds, over 10 assists. Lucas had almost 20 points, 18 rebounds, or maybe it was, and like 3 assists.
Yep.
No titles in their time together.
Yep.
That's because that Royals team just kind of sucked.
They were, yeah. It was them and nobody else.
Right.
They were
Yeah.
kind of it.
Well, nobody else had the Big O and Lucas.
Nope.
No.
I only considered 4 duos in this decade, and they were one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on my top 4, but they
Yeah.
just didn't make the cut because their team sucked. And
Yeah, they just...
They're 2 Hall of Fame players. I mean, it's not like it's.
Yeah,
I mean,
2 Hall of Fame. Did we put both of them on the Kings starting 5? I know we put Big O.
Ooh.
Did we put Lucas on the forward spot?
Well, we put Boogie and...
Oh yeah,
we
we did.
put Weber.
Weber.
Yeah, we probably put
yeah.
Weber and Boogie,
Probably
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Boogie.
I mean, he was a terror there for a couple of years
Yeah.
in
From a
Sacramento.
historical standpoint, Lucas is a very prominent factor. But in a situation like that, Boogie was probably the better decision to match up against other big centers.
Yeah. Big centers from other eras.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucas was signed for his.
Yeah. And he went on to help the Knicks win their championships, didn't he? Later in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think just one of them, maybe.
Just one.
All right. Well, anything else to add on the Big O and Jerry Lucas, Uncle Doug?
Nope, that's it.
All righty. Well, Wade, who do you have as your second duo in the 60s?
Bill Russell and Sam Jones.
Ooh, Bill Russell and Sam Jones. I did not have them either.
Nope.
That's my number 1.
That's your number one.
Yeah.
So 2.
Yeah.
All right.
This
2.
is actually not one of the 4 I considered.
No.
All right.
Yeah, I considered them, but they didn't make it.
They play. Did they play the entire decade together? Or no? Did they short 1 year? Didn't Sam
It'd be
Jones
pretty
retire?
close.
Jones retired 1 year before Russell.
So it'd be close. I'm not sure exactly how many years, but it'd be close.
Russell last year, 68, 69.
That's Jones's last year.
Lucas is 68, 69. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So they played, yeah.
The whole decade.
Yeah. Well, they won 9 championships in the decade. Russell won, let's see, 4 of his MVPs during the decade. Russell was the best defensive player on the most successful team in NBA history, and Sam Jones was the go-to scorer in the most successful team in NBA history. So they won 9 championships during the decade. So
Well, right now, I was kind of ask you guys a question. So I'm guessing, do you guys have Russell and Hondo?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Okay, I was about to say.
yeah.
Although when I
Hondo.
said I had 4, I considered they were
Okay.
they were one of them.
Okay, I was okay.
I had Havlicek instead of Sam Jones.
I was saying, the
in
reason why-
consideration.
Havlicek was the first one I looked at.
That's who I looked at.
Russell.
It was just, he didn't come on until...
The majority of his best years are in the 70s.
Yeah.
He has
I'd
some
say
nice
Sam
years
Jones
in
matched him
in the
just...
60s.
He basically matched him in the 60s when they played together.
Yeah.
Because
And Sam Jones actually has some amazing playoff stats. There's like a 7-year run where he is like their go-to scorer,
So
and
they've-
while they're winning all these titles, this is once he gets going and is a full-time starter, his playoff points per game averages are 20, just under 24, 23, 28, just under 25, 26, 20. So Sam Jones was their go-to scorer throughout almost all their championships in the playoffs.
yeah, I just...
And Russell was Russell, and let's just be honest. The championship is what stands out.
I mean, when you win...
They won 9.
And
It's
Russell won what? How
just
many
4 of his
MVP?
MVPs. then.
4 MVPs.
3, 4.
Yeah.
When you win 9 championships in the decade, that means there's one other one.
It's just an astronomical number.
Yeah, I mean that's a legit.
That's all
I
there
mean,
is. I mean, that's.
I mean,
I'm not even gonna try and make.
talk
some
about how
giant
it's not all
case.
winning, but when you win 9 out of the 10, it's...
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just an insane number.
Yeah.
So
True that.
that was pretty much the thinking. Well, did you have that combo or no?
No, I went with a different one.
Oh, okay.
Well, who do you have, Ray?
I went with Wilton Greer.
So did I.
Okay.
That was my third.
Yeah, I went with Wilton Greer as well.
That's Dose.
You got stats there, Ray?
I do. Wilt put up they were together 4 years. Wilt was 28, 24, and 6. And Greer was 22, 5, and 4. And I'm probably off like a couple digits, but it's pretty
Oh,
close.
That's what I got too.
Okay.
I just have that Wilt shot 56% and Greer shot 45%, and Wilt won 3 MVPs during that time, and they won a ring together. Yeah. Here's what I did. I couldn't decide on my 50s and 60s teams, so I decided I was only going to put one Celtics team. And I decided to do the 50s and left and then so I would not put them on my 60s.
Oh.
That's what I did. I went with Wilt Greer and Baylor West.
Fair enough.
I did like I did with the 50s. I went with player rankings,
Mm-hmm.
and West and Baylor were 4 and 6 in the 60s. Wilton Greer were 1 and 12. The Big O and Lucas were 3 and 8. That's why I struggled. They were really close.
Okay.
Russell and Sam Jones were 2 and 26. And that's why I didn't go with them.
Sam Jones
I mean,
really ranked that low?
Yep.
Huh.
On the ranking list I was looking at, yeah.
Right, yeah. Huh. Kind of odd.
Was that his highest ranked teammate?
That's the highest one I saw.
If that's the case, that kind of puts a damper on him having so many great players on his team. If his highest ranked player was 26th in the league.
Well, I have a feeling part of that has to do with Kuzi was there the first few years.
Just like 2 years.
So
maybe.
he's not going to get ranked high in the
No, he's not
60s
gonna
because of that.
No.
And then doesn't Havlicek come in?
Havlicek's there for like 6 years.
Right.
Oh, wait,
so
hold
he,
on.
Yeah.
he
7
comes
years.
in.
7 years. Yeah.
He comes in at the end.
He's in there at 63 to 70 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And
7
so
years.
I think part of the reason the ranking is the whole decade.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you weren't there for the whole thing, your ranking drops.
Gotcha. All right.
All right. Well, is that everybody's? No, we don't. Everybody's out.
Yeah, that's everybody up there.
Yeah.
Only 4 this time. Well, we have 6 or 7 last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, and one's already in. Baylor and West are already in.
Right, yeah.
So we just got 3 duos for one spot.
Well, obviously I'm the one. And Wilton Greer were my 3, so I'll come off Robertson Lucas and go to Wilton Greer.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. Well, now we have 2 duos for one spot. That was quick.
Took a week, but we're getting back at it, huh?
And look at us. Look at us making it.
Yeah.
All right. Russell Jones and Bill Greer.
Who had the other Russell Jones?
I think it was Wade and Drew. I believe.
Okay. It's kind of a hard decision. Because one's got a pretty good stat line, the other one's got a good stat line, and a nice title run of a whole effing decade.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as secondary guys go, compared to some of the others, Jones and Greer are one of the weaker. Both of them are kind of on the weaker side as far as
Yeah.
these all-time great players we're talking about.
What was the Jones's point total or points per game?
It was 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, same. Yeah, on par.
Yeah.
We're in Baylor and West. Yeah.
Like, what was Greer? Greer was 22, 5, and 4.
Yeah.
Both of the Russell and Wilt have a bunch of MVPs during that time. Drew, you're awful quiet over there. That's very odd for you.
I'm just thinking
Mm.
about it. I don't know. I feel like this Celtics team's more impressive than the 50s one. We put the 50s one on. I don't know how you feel about that way, but
They won 9 of the 10 championships. I don't really know what else.
I know I said I don't want winning to be everything on it, but when it's that much,
It's 9.
you win 9 of the 10 available in your decade. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pure domination.
I don't know. And obviously,
Not pure domination. It's the greatest domination in sports history.
Yeah.
Who else has done that?
I mean, there's people that come close. And if they wouldn't have retired for 2 years and came back, they could have been on the same par. But
It's a big if, though.
Yeah, big if.
I don't know. I don't. How many titles did UConn win? Like UConn's girls basketball.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
They've won a shit ton of titles. I don't know how many in
They
a
won a
row, or
bunch.
how many in a decade, or
I mean, if you
whatever.
want to talk about dominant, UCLA men's basketball there for a while was
They won
pumping them out.
7 and 9 years or something like that at one point.
Well, Kareem won 3 in a row, and then what?
Walton won like 3 in a row.
They're 6.
But
They won it.
they weren't back. They weren't 6 straight years though, were they?
No, but I think they won. They won a bunch in a row.
Well, then you have the Yankees in early baseball dominating. The Canadians in hockey are wild.
I'm not going to argue that the Celtics were the greatest team of the 60s. But I don't know. I don't feel like, I feel like Russell is probably the second best player behind Wilt of the 60s. But I just don't think Sam Jones holds up his end.
UCLA won championships in 64, 65, and they missed a year. They won 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. They missed a year, won in 75, and then didn't win again until 1995.
So it's 7.
Yeah. It's a hell of a run. From 71 to 74, they won 88 consecutive games. Stupid. Oh, man.
All right, I'm jumping ship.
Oh.
I just think 9 titles and the weaker 2 are on par with each other. So I feel like the 9 titles just kind of works itself out.
If you want to take my vote, I'll jump on the Russell Jones train in sense of the pure domination. At first, I thought about going Wilt Greer, but after hearing Wade, just like it's plain simple. 9 championships. I'll go. Not Russell
Brock, you
Jones.
see where what your vote is?
I get an asterisk.
You get an asterisk.
You are
We're
the
saying championships is the most important thing.
No. I told you this. I told you last episode it didn't. That's why I didn't have them last time, because it was only 3 and at the end of a decade. But this time, it was the whole decade.
See how that works, Brock? I'm the
And
ass
I'm
man
still
and you
struggling
the
with-
asterisks.
Rating duos on a team accomplishment.
Well, obviously, the peers that voted on MVP, they obviously thought Russell was the best player, 4 times
Right.
in the decade.
Sam Jones 0.
Well, Will Greer was 0 too.
Right. But I think he's better than Sam Jones.
Sam Jones showed up in the playoffs. I mean, I had the same thought at first one. I don't know who I was going to pick for Bill Russell's
obviously I'm
teammate.
outvoted, so it's not going to matter. But I whatever.
Well, I thought the same thing last week too.
Well, I did too.
But
I mean, I would have loved to win with Robertson, but I mean, if their teams were a little better, I might have had a little better argument for that one. Because they got a nice little stat line, too.
Who else was on those 9 champion? Were they like most the same players through those 9 years, or was there
I
different?
mean,
people?
like
There's some change.
Russell's there obviously the whole time, and Sam Jones is there the whole time.
Wow.
Kuzi's there for the first couple. Havlicek's there for like 7 of them. Heinsohn's there for 6 or 7 of them.
The early ones, I'm not sure how long. Like Sharman and Heinsohn stayed.
Sharman's done for 60s, 59, 60s is his last season.
Okay.
And the other Jones, what's his first name? Sam and
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. Casey Jones is
yeah, they
there
ended
for
up being coach later.
yeah, he's there for part of it. Like I said, Russell and Sam Jones are there for the whole thing, but some of the other guys are coming and going.
right.
There's like different eras of their team.
Mhm.
Kind of.
That was a quality question, young sir. Oh, sorry, I've been trying to look up Will Greer's playoff stats since Drew brought it up.
I have Sam Jones somewhere on my phone.
So is it you and Alex on Wilton Greer?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It sounds like you're just saying one name every time. Wilton Greer.
Wilton Greer sounds like a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Or Wilton Greer's Diner.
We'll fix your muff.
Yeah. They got a shop out back and they're serving burgers and french fries out front.
I do know Greer led their team in scoring the year they won the title. Other than that, that's the only Greer fact I know about the playoffs.
Yeah, the year they won the title, he averaged 26, 8, and 6 in the playoff run while shooting 39% from the field.
Mm.
Yeah. Sam Jones in 64-65 when they won the title averaged 28 points on 46% shooting.
That's my guy. My guy, SJ.
Playoff Sam Jones was actually pretty good. He averaged.
Well, someone had to score because Russell wasn't.
Well, I
Yeah.
take that back. I misspoke slightly. His stats are the same, but that was only in the finals that he averaged that.
Gotcha.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, he averaged 29, 3, and 5 on 43% shooting.
That percentage.
And
right?
in the first round, he averaged 28, 5, and 4 on 46%. So the longer it went on, the lower his field goal percentage went, but he put up some nice stats that year. So that would average out. Well, that's not good. It won't let me accumulate stat years for the playoffs like it does in the regular season.
I mean, like just their averages for the whole.
Yeah, I want the
Playoff run?
average for the whole playoff run, but it won't let me grab them together.
Oh, gotcha. I get what
Because
you're saying.
when we're up looking at their career stats, I can pick out years and
Yeah.
pull them together.
Oh, yours
Like-
just go straight to the series. I say mine just does like the whole playoff totals.
Yeah, that's what I
Whenever,
got.
yeah,
just
I think the ones on our phones will do
click
like the
the
whole
playoff
playoff totals.
tab.
Oh, gotcha.
And it just goes.
So you want
straight to all
Greer?
their
What year
totals.
for Greer?
67, the year they won the championship.
Well,
I think he averaged
Greer.
like 27 and something because I read about it earlier. Because he actually outscored Wilt for the playoffs, I believe. Wilt averaged like 21 points per game or something like that during that playoff run, and Greer averaged like 27 or 28.
Is it-
yeah, he averaged 27.
Is it weird that the 2 times he won a championship, Wilt decided not to score that much
Yeah.
and let his teammates score while he rebounded and played defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, Greer had 27, 6, and 5 on 43% shooting.
Yeah. I know he had a big year that year they won the finals.
And they beat the Warriors that year.
The Warriors in what, 60? Is that Rick Barry or is that before Rick Barry?
67.
That's probably a Rick Barry year.
Would Rick Barry still have been in the ABA at that point?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if that's Rick Barry or before Rick Barry.
I can't click on it.
Let's see what old Rick's up to. I'll look him up.
Yeah, give me my call.
Rick in 67 was playing in the NBA for the San Francisco Warriors.
That's them.
Okay. There you go.
He led the playoffs that year in scoring with 34.
It's not too shocking.
By the way, I know I'm a decade off. Talking about a guy you can't find a teammate for. There's one right there.
Yeah.
I tried my ass off for the 70s, and he has no teammates. None.
Well, it's not just about finding people that have teammates, but it's finding teammates where they were both in their primes at the same time. They stayed there for a decent amount of time. Did they get lucky and, have some nice playoff runs or, because sometimes it just takes a little luck, a little injury luck against the other team. And,
Yeah.
there's a lot that factor into it. So what exactly are we doing here?
I don't know.
I didn't know if we had moved on or are we still on it. What are we doing?
We might as well just vote, and we know what the vote's going to be. So,
Okay.
All right.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to change my mind, so we might as well vote.
Is
Well,
everyone...
I mean, is anybody going to change their vote? Do we have to write it down?
No,
No,
I'm
I'm
I
not
don't think
changing
anybody's
mine.
changing their vote. So,
Russell Jones it is.
All
Russell
right.
Jones, it is.
So
Baylor
that would
West.
make our two duos for this decade. Baylor West and Russell Jones.
Probably not the
That-
first time we're going to see the Lakers-Celtics duo.
That's probably true. Russell Jones. That sounds like I'm just saying a name, like Russell Jones. And yeah, you guys like to introduce you to Russell Jones.
Yeah.
Baylor West, not so much.
Yeah.
I guess you could be Baylor West, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see that.
doesn't go as smoothly together as Russell
I'm
Jones.
so Wilt
Hey,
Greer.
I'm Russell Jones.
I'm so Wilt Greer's auto shop.
What's the middle name?
Russell
Tyrone
Wade Jones.
Russell Tyrone. Gosh.
Aloysius.
All right. Well, that will wrap up our duo portion of this episode and send us into MVP discussion. And we decided on the 1961,
61,
62.
62.
I was
Yep.
making sure I had the right decade. 1961, 1962 MVP, which Bill Russell won. But other people in the league put up some ridiculous stat numbers that year.
Pretty much everyone but Bill Russell.
So we thought this would be a great year to talk about. Bill Russell won the MVP, receiving a vast majority of the votes. It was not even a remotely close contest. Russell came in first place, averaging 19 points, 23 rebounds, 4 assists on 45% shooting. Wilt Chamberlain, who came in second place, averaged 50 points, 25 rebounds, and 2 assists on 50% shooting. Oscar Robertson, who was playing in Cincinnati at the time, averaged 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists on 47% shooting. Elgin Baylor averaged 38 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 assists on 42% shooting. Jerry West averaged 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists on 44% shooting. Bob Pettit averaged 31 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 assists on 45% shooting. Richie Guerin averaged 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists on 44% shooting. And those are all the people that received votes.
It's crazy when Jerry West averages 38 and 5 and has one of the weakest stat lines. Like, that's pretty nuts.
38 and 18. And
Like, it was... Oof.
Fourth place.
38 and 18.
No, that's Elgin.
Oh, who'd you say?
I said West.
Oh, you said West. Okay, gotcha.
I said
I was
he
like,
averaged 38 and 5 and had one of the
Oh.
weakest stat lines. Like, and 38 and 5 is amazing.
yeah, it is.
Like, and he has like probably the 4th or 5th best stat line up there.
So I'm guessing the Celtics had the best record that year.
yeah, they went 60 and 20.
This is the middle
but-
of them rattling off all their championships
But
Russell.
this year, unlike the one we talked about Bob Pettit and the Hawks only won 29 games, so that may be self-explanatory. But the Lakers won 54 games this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they did win less than the Celtics, but they still won a crap load of games.
Is Wilt the Warrior?
Wilt is with the Warriors.
So,
Okay.
Sorry,
They won 49 games.
they won
49
49
games.
games.
Okay.
And Oscar has a winning record, too, with Cincinnati. They won 43 games.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but of course, you you hear 50 and 25, which is just amazing by Wilt. And then Oscar averages this is the first ever triple double season, right?
Yep.
I feel like it has to be one of those two. Like, I understand at that point in time, like, Russell was winning all the time, and back then people would, I don't know, I'm not sure how to word it, but, and Russell does have really nice, I mean, averaging 23 or 24 rebounds a game is amazing, and he was known for being this amazing defender, which he was. But just in comparison to some of these other guys, it's too much to get past. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
I kind of wish I mean,
It's just
there's
like,
a lot of the guys from this time period that are still alive. You know, you kind of wish. I mean, maybe there are interviews out there. I don't know, but like, there's 96 people in the NBA at this point, and 51 of them voted for Russell.
and
Like,
how,
like,
Yeah, I don't
you know
understand.
what I mean? Like, what was your thought? Was it just like, hey, like, this team is dominant, so like we're gonna keep voting for
I think
them?
it was. I think it has to be. Like, they were winning the championship every year. They were probably had already rattled off what, 3 or 4 at that point, and he was their best player, and he was this extraordinarily amazing defender. But and that was the thought process behind it all. But a man averaged 50 points and 25 rebounds and didn't win an MVP.
An average over 48 minutes a game. Games are only 48 minutes.
And we had the first ever triple double. Like, and those, like, and Elgin Baylor's stat line was insane as well. You can't just ignore his. What was it, like
38 and 18.
Almost 19 and almost 5.
See, like, and yes, I get it. Russell averaged like 24 rebounds or whatever, and like 18 or 19 points, which is spectacular. But out of all his MVPs, this one just doesn't look good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it makes more sense to me when things like this happen when, like, when writers vote, because then I can blame the writers for being like stupid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But when the players are voting, it's like I can't even really call you into like too much questioning, because like you're the ones playing against the motherfuckers every night, not me. I didn't even watch the games.
yeah.
You know, you know, like.
Well, clearly Russell had a huge impact on the game throughout the winning he did, but to a certain, like, we're talking about just these insane record-breaking seasons that people can barely even approach now.
Mhm.
Like, there's, like, are we ever going to see anybody average 50 points a game in a season?
No.
I
like-
don't know. It might happen.
Like, well, it would be today's NBA with all these damn threes, but I don't.
They won't have another stat line at 25.
Yeah.
No, they won't. Nobody's gonna average 25 rebounds again.
No.
There's teams that barely average 25 rebounds in a game.
I still
Seriously, that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I have a hard
Washington.
time thinking someone will still average 50 for a season. That's so.
That's a lot. The closest we got a little while ago was James Harden, and he couldn't even do it for like a short game stretch. He only got to like 48.
And then by
It's
the
like
end
a
of the
month.
season, he was like at 37.
Yeah.
I think that he topped out like 37. Like,
Yeah. 50 for a whole year is
that's insane.
it's just crazy. To
Well,
do.
you said Wilt was playing over 48 minutes a game.
Mhm.
That by itself is crazy.
And he played 80 games that year.
Yeah.
He played the league max in games and minutes.
And due to back when he was playing and stuff, he was getting a lot of probably easy buckets. I'm not saying all of his buckets were super easy,
No.
but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was a super athlete that was huge in an era.
He was one
where
of
there wasn't
what?
a
We've
lot of
talked about
those.
this.
Yeah.
6'7" guys over 6'9".
Yeah.
So I mean,
So like the person that does
And he
it
was-
now
and
has
he
to
was
find a
athletic.
way- How are you gonna get that many easy baskets in today's NBA?
That's true.
you're just
Now,
not.
here's the other thing, though.
Like-
what team is going to let you shoot 40 times a
Yeah.
game?
You know how many,
Right.
you know how many
Yeah.
threes you're gonna have to put up by yourself
Yeah.
every
He
game.
literally was shooting
Every game.
40 times a game.
Right.
Like, no teams don't let you do that.
And he still was over 50% shooting for the year.
which
Yeah.
back then was crazy because
Yeah.
no one shot that high.
That's what I'm saying. As much as he shot to still be at 50%, no one can do that.
Imagine if he could make his free throws.
Yeah.
Free throws this year were only 61.
Well, I mean,
That's not awful compared to some of the other years.
I've seen some of his playoff free throw numbers, and we're talking like down in the 30s,
Ooh.
like mid to high 30s.
I really think that Wilt was one of those guys that he couldn't handle pressure. I think pressure got to him. Like,
lots
and
of people that
going to the
say that.
line in the playoffs is one of those things. You know, I don't think he handled things. I think he was a guy that mentally couldn't handle certain things. I mean, when he was a head coach, he just didn't show up and like stupid things.
Yeah.
You could very easily see that being pressure related. Like everything's on me. I'm the guy that gets to make the calls. You know, I'm gonna walk out in the middle of a game and like shit like that. Like,
We've talked about him.
yeah,
quite a few
like
times.
he's a weird cat.
Dude was a. You ever seen some of his like track videos back in the day?
Yeah.
I just find that fascinating.
I see some of his
Someone
crazy athlete
that
videos.
size,
It's wild. He could like
moving like
bench like
that.
what? Something crazy like
he
what?
claimed he could bench like 600 or 700
But
pounds.
I
don't know if he
here's
could.
the other thing.
I think
here's
I think
the
I-
other thing with Wilt. Wilt was so great, and he could do, and not just at basketball, like you were saying. He's a great athlete overall, and did a lot of great things in his life. But he's also a huge liar. Like he would just lie all the time in interviews. So they would catch him in his life, so you know he was lying. But so when he claims something, you never know if it's true or not. Like you have to go back and like be able to find it. Otherwise, you don't know if it's true or not.
But he's so back in the day, you can only find certain stuff.
Yeah.
There was a big thing about him being able to bench press a ton of weight, but
Well, I don't think it was 6 or 7. I think it was something like 405.
well,
or something.
he might have been. He probably could
I mean,
do
he
that.
weighed 300 pounds. So like
That's what I'm saying.
You know, like
it wasn't
being
anything
able
crazy
to
like 6 or 7, but I think it was like 405 or something. They
Because
said he could do.
He said like in an interview multiple times that he can. It's something like 6. He says he can bench like 600 pounds or something.
That's
And
just
it's-
that's wild.
yeah. That's like strongman shit.
By the way, Wade,
But
when we were over here recording Blockbuster Bums last week, Josh was at the meet,
yeah, I saw some Snapchat.
and he sent Tom a video of a dude bench pressing 1,100 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, it came off his chest. Like, they lower it real slow to his chest, and they made it sit there, and he goes like this. Wasn't a struggle at all. Just like boom and right.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like it didn't it, Ray? It looked
Yeah,
so
it
easy.
looked like it was like 500 pounds.
Yeah, like it was.
Wow.
It looked so easy. It was just boom right up, and I was like, "You have got to be kidding me!" And they had like 6 guys spotting him. Like, like
Wow.
He okay, it's yeah. We'll talk about it after the episode.
Yeah.
Talk about it after the episode.
I've got my vote ready for this MVP.
I mean, I have my vote as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry.
we're gonna write it down. We're just gonna say it.
I thought we just say it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just say it.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, Brock.
I'm giving my vote to Will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
We'll get mine.
Wilt
I
Chamberlain.
said
That's who I said, Oscar. I like the triple double with almost 50% shooting.
They talked. I think we've probably talked about this before, but until recently, nobody cared. Like like
Right.
like you got a
Right.
triple double. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Well, it was all about points back in the day. If you weren't putting up points, nobody really gave a fuck.
Points and rebounds.
Huh?
Preach.
All right. Well, that will wrap up this 1960s episode. And please tune in next week for our 1970s episode. And the 70s are a mess.
Yeah.
I'm not that I'm not looking forward to recording, but I'm not looking forward to trying to figure out who these duos are in the 70s. But we would appreciate you, getting a hold of us, email, comment, rate, review, whatever you can do to help us out.
Sports the NEMO Way at gmail.com.
Thank you, Ray. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.